morning. It's actually a really nice sunny day in Iceland today. It's my last day here. I was going to shoot the reflection shots of Kirchfell this morning, but the reflections never really happened. It was a bit too choppy on the water. Even kind of around high tide, it just didn't really happen. Right, yeah, sorry about that. I'm using the car, best, most expensive four-legged tripod you can get to put the camera on, and there wasn't anyone coming down this road for about 10 minutes this morning, and they started coming down. I keep having to move the car out of the way. Yeah, I was going to shoot the Kirchfell this morning. We didn't get the reflections. There was a bit of a kind of a wind, a bit of a breeze. It was only 5 miles an hour apparently, but it's quite a big stretch of water, and it was choppy enough to not kind of get anything to work in it. I was meant to be going around to the mineral springs this morning, which I keep on saying about, but it's such a nice day. I thought I'd drive around the whole peninsula, Snesfell Peninsula, and I can't even say it. And it's a really nice day, so I'm just going to work my way around there, see if I can see anything. There is an archway down on the coast, a natural arch, but I probably won't visit that, to be honest. But what I've come across is this really cool church. I can't pronounce the name of it, I'll write it up. And I've not actually seen many pictures online of it. I tried doing a Google search when I came across it, unless I've got the place name wrong. But it's the sign that points down to it, so I think it's the name of the church. But I can't really find any images of it. But it's a really, really nice scene. So what I'm doing with it is I've come quite far back on the road to get it in kind of good perspective. It's quite a tall church, so when you're next to it, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare looking up at a wide angle, and I can't see any higher elevation to kind of look onto it than I am here. So I'm shooting on the 70 to 200 at full kind of zoom, so I'm at 200mm, and it's on the 60, the full frame now, so I'm getting an accurate 200mm. I might put the tele extender on any minute to get a bit of a closer zoom up. That'll get me to around about 280mm on the full frame. I won't be using the 60, the quality's a bit better than the full frame here, so I'll be sticking with the full frame. But what I've had to do is I've had to use a polarizer just to take a bit of the reflection, not off the clouds or off the kind of backdrop, which are this really nice kind of snowy mountains, which I think is the start of the big glacier down here. They've got on the peninsula. So you've got a really nice backdrop. Then that's not too bad, but the main reason is to take the reflection off the church roof. Looking at it with your eyes, it's quite washed out, the roof, and it looks almost like the paint's faded, but it's mainly due to the reflections on the roof from the just from the sun. By putting the polarizer on there, that's cutting those reflections right out, getting a really nice scene. Now I'm shooting a HDR because the filter, even if I had a filter, obviously if you watch the rest of the vlogs, I kind of broke the filters a few days ago. But even if I had one, it's going to make the church quite dark. I don't want that, so I'm having to do HDRs really anyway. I thought there was a car coming. But yeah, it's going to be a really nice scene, and I've already taken the shot. Basically, I'm shooting a HDR, so it's a free exposure shot. There's two stops either side of kind of the normal exposure, the standard kind of HDR type thing. I just set it up again. I'll go for the settings. I'm shooting an ISO 50. There's no real benefit to shooting an ISO 50, to be honest. There's not going to be enough movement in the clouds, and I'm shooting at an aperture of f22, I believe, or f20, which is I'll have to move again. I'm shooting an aperture of f22 to try and get a bit of kind of movement, but I don't really think it's going to be do anything, to be honest. So I'm probably going to maybe lower that aperture a bit, although I am zooming in quite far and there's a lot of backdrop behind it. So with the compression you get on the telephoto lens, you want to be shooting at quite a high aperture anyway, to ensure that you kind of get the background in sharpness. I'm focusing on the church to by zooming in really far is going to have a tendency to compress and throw out the background, so that should get rid of any of that problem. I'll probably shoot a bit lower as well, just to get a bit of softness in the background, just to see if I like the artistic effect that gives. I'm going to get down there and get some different compositions of it, see what we can get. Really cool building. I've read the plaque here, and this is the oldest concrete made church in the world, apparently. Today's church, the world's oldest church made from concrete, was built in 1903. Iceland's a cool place. There's so many world's greatest or coolest. What I also found was this puddle here on the top of this roof, which I've managed to use to get reflection of. It's okay, it's not the nicest composition, but it's something a bit different. Yeah, lovely backdrop. What I'm going to do now is head on, like I said earlier, make me around the coast, and I'll catch up with you a bit later. It's starting to get a bit busy here now, so I'll move on. Right, I've stopped off again at this big crack. There's quite a few places to photograph down here on the peninsula, actually. It's quite cool. I'm pretty sure this is a crack I've seen pictures of before. I wasn't going to visit it, but I happened just to be driving past it on this road, so I thought I would do. I don't know where that exposed, but it's there's the crack. All I'm going to do is take the wide angle lens, probably, yeah, I'll probably take the tripod as well, because I think it's going to be quite dark in there. I think there might be a waterfall in there, I'm not sure, but apparently it's like a really tight gully you can just about fit through, so I'll take a bit of footage in there and see what we can get. So I'll see you a bit later. I'll put out any pictures I get up, and next time I'll see you will be at the spring. Right, this place is cool, but it is hard work, and it is pretty spooky and scary. Just been to a couple over from Boston. They've got about halfway. I managed to get further. Some of the ice here is a nightmare to walk up, so that is you level now. And you can see how steep that is. It's probably hard to tell on the camera, but that is proper steep. And you've got this massive, humongous drops either side, which I'm guessing go down something like 5, probably 10 meters or more. Yeah, you wouldn't want to slide down there, you would be royally screwed. Luckily it's a touristy spot, so if you screamed long enough, I'm sure someone would find you. Really cool. I'm not going to go up much higher if it gets any worse than this. There are some people up it already, and there are bits you can get your foot in. Doesn't look as bad. This bit is a bit I just come up that the other couple couldn't get past, so it should be doable. But yeah, it's not the nicest. There's a lot of snow here. I didn't think it'd be anywhere near like this. I suppose the sun's not been getting in the cabin as such. Yeah, I'll make my way up, see if we can get any further, see if we can get any different shots. There's some cool shots to be had back there anyway, if not, so I'm just kind of going up here really just to explore at the moment, so yeah, I'll catch up with you in a minute. Right, I'm about as far as I'm comfortable with going. this is absolutely steep as hell now. I mean, if I put my hand straight, you can see it's proper slopey. It's hard to kind of show it off on the camera, but it is pretty bad. My camera's gone off now, which is really going to annoy me and frustrate me, because I've got to do all the settings again. I'll catch up with you in a bit. I'll redo the settings because it's going to take ages to set it up. Right, I've got it set back up now, so I'm just going to keep my finger on the trigger every now and then, stop it timing out. For some reason, when I do HDRs, I've got the HDR setting on custom, set the switch off after 30 seconds or something stupid like that. I need to readjust it and save it so it stays on for longer. I've had to adjust it. The gully we're in here, there's so many different gradients of light. It's going to be really difficult for it to expose. So if I turn around and have a look there with the phone, probably get it to expose it on here. No, that's as dark as that'll go on the front view camera on this phone, and that's kind of as light. There's a lot of different shadows and color gradients and lightness gradients in here. Stop the camera going off. This is the only thing that's ever going to work in places like this is HDRs. You can't use any filters, anything like that, unless you want to go for like a shot where it's blown out or the mountains are dark. There's absolutely nothing else you can do with it. You need a camera with an extremely good dynamic range, which doesn't exist to shoot this. So what I'm going to do is I've set up, I've adjusted my HDR slightly. It's going to do 5 shots, and it's going to be going -5 and +5 on the exposure. So it's going to be 5 stops shooting, 5 stops above and 5 stops below. So it's going to have a massive dynamic range, this image, but it's the only way you'll get it in there. There's a few shots to be had on the way down as well, which I will get. I'm shooting about 35mm on the lens actually. I thought I'd bring the wide angle in here, that's all I'd need. But I'm actually not liking it with these dark cliffs here. I like the kind of colour with the ones in front of me, which are green, looking out to the kind of the beach with a bit of the mountain range in the background and then the sea there. So it's quite a nice composition. I've looked on the internet, I've not really found any pictures taken inside this gully, so yeah, it's probably quite a rare thing. It's a bit dodgy to get up here, and every now and then you get rocks, little kind of rocks fall off the top and make you jump, so I'm not going to stay in here too long. There's a lot of birds in here as well, so I have a feeling they're knocking stuff off. You probably can't pick up. It won't expose to be able to see them, but trust me, there's a lot in here. Yeah, so all I'll do now is I'll fire off the shot before it times out. And the last one. Eventually. Right, I'll just check them through because it's a bit of trial and error, to be honest. It's very hard to kind of the camera to judge it. There's so much light gradients. As you adjust the HDR, as you adjust it on the light meter on the camera, it's actually messing it up because every time it adjusts, it keeps on like picking up different bits on the sensor, different dynamic ranges, and it's fooling the light meter. So even the camera can't work the scene out. So I've actually had to shoot well off the light meter to get this to work. I'm shooting an aperture of f16 just to give it some kind of depth looking down. And I'm just focusing on about a third into the scene like you'd have to on something like this to try and get it sharp. It should come out as quite a nice image. I'm going to get these shots done, make my way back down. For your information, it's shooting anywhere from 320th of a second, which is exposing for the beach and the sky, all the way up to 13 seconds to do the gully. So that shows you how much different light there is between the gully and the outside. It shows how amazing your eyesight is. I can look at it and it looks perfectly exposed. Yeah, so I'm going to get down, like I said, try and get some more shots. looking up there's seriously making me a bit vertigo-y now, so I'm not going to do any more hiking, and getting down here is going to be a bit of a nightmare, I think, so I'll just stop and get some shots on the way. But yeah, quite an epic place, and I'll catch up with you hopefully at the bottom. I've checked my signal on my phone, and you do actually get 3G in here, so if I fall down a hole and I've got my phone, I should be able to ring someone, so at least it's not the end of the world. I'll catch up with you in a minute. Right, I'm finally up at the spring. There's a cool board here about it actually, that says what's in it. It was tested in 1972 apparently, so it gets tested regularly, this water. Apparently these are the things in it. I don't understand it. That's supposed to be working out. There's Fe, so that's iron. 2 milligrams of iron in. Oh, here we go. Ordinary drinking water. So we have 2 milligrams of iron in this, and that is 0.002 milligrams in normal water. So this is going to have, is that 100,000 times more iron in it, and I don't have a clue what HCO3 is, but there's a lot of that in it, and fair bit of CO2, which is probably going to make it fizzy, I would have thought. And yeah, I suppose that calcium, magnesium, anyway, magnesium. Don't know what any of the other ones are really. So yeah, let's go and give it a try. Apparently it was welled down and put into this tap a couple of decades ago, and the farmer drinks it apparently, so I think it's relatively safe. You can see the iron in it if you look at the ground. The ground is red with iron, so probably collect it up and make some money off the metal in it. I saw a review on this on TripAdvisor that I said about a few days ago, and it basically said it tastes like warm, rusty, gone off beer. So give it a try. Got my debranded non-Coca-Cola sugary black drink bottle. It's not great. It is slightly fizzy, very slightly. No bubbles. I don't know really to describe it. It tastes a bit like if anyone's had root beer, although I've not had root beer for 15 years, so I've probably forgotten what it tastes like. But it seems to taste a bit like that from what I remember. Not that pleasant. Still, it's a lot better than I thought it'd be, considering the ground is rust red. Yeah, I might fill up, have a bit, and if you see me a bit later on, and I'm still alive, so that's a good thing. Right, I'm at the place now. The weather has turned horrendous. It's not just raining, it's windy and cold. Luckily, it's only just up there. I'm not going to do any photography up there. Everything's packed away now. Everything's in the suitcase and in my bag. All I'm going to do is literally go up there and just tell you a bit about it. It's quite a cool thing to end on. It's not a photographic thing at all. It's just another kind of cool quirk that Iceland has. So I'll catch up with you in a minute up there. I've got my external mic on me still, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me with the wind and the rain. And yeah, I'll catch up with you in a minute. Right, it's pretty windy here, cold and wet. I'm taking you to a bridge which is just here in front of us. It's not an amazing bridge, it's not a pretty bridge or anything worth shooting, but it's really cool because this bridge straddles two tectonic plates. So on one side you've got the European plate, or the I can't remember how you say it, and the other side you've got the North American plate, and you can actually walk from one tectonic plate or one continent to the next. This is kind of, it shows why all that Iceland has so much kind of rifts and gullies and valleys in it and things like that, really, because all the kind of movement and the earthquakes over the years, obviously the volcanoes. They built this bridge so you can literally walk from one side to the other. Now this gully here is actually made as a direct result of the plates moving. And apparently they move 2 centimetres a year. So here's the bridge. You can actually walk right from one tectonic plate to the other. The actual line is right down the middle of here, so this place is going to get a lot of earthquakes. I wonder if it says which side is which then. Take a picture of this and put it up. So it's Eurasian plate. Look at this, this is awesome. So we are, I'll put a picture of this up so you can see it better. But we are here, stood now right on the bridge between the North American plate and the Eurasian plate there. How cool is that? Oh, I can't stay any longer though, it's blooming cold and wet. I've got to catch a plane in about, well, I've got to get the car back to the rental place in about an hour's time, and then catch a plane a bit later. But yeah, that is cool, just to think you can walk across the bridge. I suppose you can walk across the landmass anyway, but there's something iconic about it being on a bridge for some reason. So yeah, a bit of interesting thing to end the kind of road trip. It's been an amazing trip. I'll catch up with you about it a bit later, I can't really do it here. So I'll see you soon, probably ending it all, have a little chat. But at the moment I'm going to get out this wind because it's blooming freezing. How cool is this? North American plate that way, Eurasia plate this way. Stood in the middle of the tectonic plates. Right, I'm just off to the airport now, so I'm in a bit of a rush. Not airport, I keep on saying that. I'm off to drop the car back, so I've got about half an hour to get there, and it's going to take me about 20 minutes. According to the sat nav, so it's not too bad. Yeah, just kind of that's the end of the road trip, really. So yeah, absolutely amazing. I can see why people fall in love with this country. It's just extremes. I mean, they've got so much stuff here. I mean, I've seen the world's most powerful waterfall, the world's biggest bird cliff, got to get that in there, the world's oldest concrete church, another one, and just immense things. I mean, loads of waterfalls. There's literally more waterfalls than you can shoot in Iceland. All the ones I've been at, the more touristy ones. Every single minute you're on the road, you see a waterfall. There must be tens of thousands of waterfalls in Iceland. Epic place. I've had a few nice days with some nice light in regards to photography. Got a few nice pictures, and also the ones where it wasn't quite very good light, I've got some really nice moody images. Made a bit more difficult when my filter died. But I've been shooting a lot of panoramic stitches since then, so I'm not really sure what they're going to look like yet, because I've not actually got them on the computer to stitch them, so they might turn out quite nicely anyway, with a bit of post. I think they will. Definitely true what they say. I mean, Iceland is full of like mood and drama of the pictures here, and I didn't really specifically want to go for that look, but that's how nearly all the images I've taken have kind of turned out anyway, with a lot of kind of mood in the skies, and it's just their general weather here. I mean, about the weather, it's so unpredictable. I've been driving on some days, and within half an hour I've seen sunshine, rain, snow, hail, just nearly all of every single weather condition you can get, really, apart from, say, tornadoes and thunder, really. Yeah, amazing place, absolutely amazing. Some of the memories I'm going to remember forever here. Great pictures. Been a difficult country to go away in and kind of live out of car like I have been. It's been very cold. It's been around about 4 or 5 degrees at night. Not the easiest country in terms of how to live here. I would have thought it's probably quite a difficult country for a lot of people that live here, especially in the bits out of Reykjavik. But for photography and for a holiday, I mean, it's absolutely stunning. I've been to places before in Europe which I'd consider, you know, breathtakingly stunning. Places like the Dolomites, for instance, which I could easily see myself living at. But Iceland's just a mixture of so many different stunning things, all kind of on the same island, really. So every bit of the island's a bit different. You can be in the north, the east, the southwest, or even bits of different regions, and the landscape and the stuff you can find there is so different. I mean, the Western Fjords is just amazing, stunning scenery, like you'd expect, really. The south of the island's full of all the really cool things like the glaciers, the geyser, obviously Diamond Beach, the plane wreck, so much down there, and then obviously you've got the kind of Snæfell Peninsula on the west there, and yeah, absolutely amazing place. Really enjoyed it. A bit tired. It's been a bit full on. Trying to get the sunrise and sunset so close together this time of the year up here. It's not really giving me any time to really sleep in between. If I have, it's only been a few hours. So yeah, it's very tiring. It's definitely not a relaxing holiday, but it's definitely one that relaxes your soul. Definitely one that I'm going to remember. I absolutely love doing these road trips and vlogging them. It's probably my favourite type of thing to vlog. It is a bit of a nightmare because you end up with reams of footage to go into a vlog, and they do end up being massive, or you have to cut out a lot of stuff. So I'm I'm not 100% convinced on the format, whether it's better to do it that way or do individual locations or half a days. I'll probably have a look into it, and you obviously would have known by now if you watched these kind of what I've done. But I absolutely love exploring places, and to bring you guys along and kind of watch as well and just show off an area, the kind of my style and stuff like that is really, really great. I think that's the main kind of thing with photography for me. It's kind of 50% of the photography, and it's 50% of exploring and getting out in nature, and using kind of the well to capture it in your own kind of creation in a photo. So yeah, absolutely amazing, really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Any people that have subscribed during the road trip, thanks for subscribing, thanks for the comments I've had throughout it. I say that, I'm not adding it yet, but hopefully I'll get at least one. So yeah, amazing place, really, really happy. It's definitely somewhere I want to come back to in the future. I'd love to get here on a long weekend with Alice, maybe in the winter, something like that, just to see the northern lights. It's something I'd love to do. But I don't think you can complain either way, really. I mean, I've had the time I've been here is the time you get long sunsets and long sunrises. You get that red light, sometimes that red light was in the sky for up to 45 minutes, whereas in the UK, especially down in the south where I'm from, you get 10-15 minutes max. So that's been really good for photos, get that long kind of time there. And it never really gets dark, so you can shoot around twilight. You get a lot of moody scenes, kind of, you don't really get the blue hour here this time of year. It's just kind of like twilight shooting. It's quite nice, it's very natural light. So yeah, you can't really have both. I mean, if I was to come in the winter for the Northern Lights, I'd probably be missing out on a lot of the available time for shooting. So definitely glad I came this time, but that long weekend, that 4-day break, at some point we're going to do it. We're going to get out here, hopefully see the Northern Lights at some point. In that regard, I've got a few images that I quite like. I've never shot the Northern Lights before, so what I'm probably going to do in some of the images, I'm going to probably try and find some Creative Commons images of the Northern Lights, get artist permission if I can use the images, which I've done before. I've done a few composites in the past. And if I can get a few, I'm just going to, when I've been putting some of the images up, if I like them, I think they'll work, I might just try and do a few composites of the Northern Lights as well. Generally speaking, if you're getting a well exposed scene with the Northern Lights in it, and you can see the mountain range and stuff like that, it generally is going to be a composite. You're not going to be able to get that light on the mountains and get the Northern Lights. It's just not going to happen. So all Northern Light images you see with lit up kind of perfect exposed scenes are going to be fake anyway, so I'm not going to be too worried about doing that. Anyway, I'll stop rabbiting on, make tracks. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, memories that will kind of last a lifetime, really, some cool locations. If any of you are interested in the images, they'll be going up on my website or Etsy or something like that. So I know Iceland is oversaturated to hell with photography, so everyone's probably seen the images a million times, but it'd be much appreciated if you check them out, let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll see you on the next adventure, I suppose. Thanks for watching.